Welcome to Blueprint the Culture. I am your host, Talia Johnson-Huh, and it is Thursday, and we are live with the Janique Curry with so many J.S. Curry and Associates and also Secret Garden. I'm so excited, Janique, that you're joining me this morning. How are you feeling?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So, we're doing this. We're talking about blueprinting the culture. We're talking about the blueprint, really, of diverse businesses, of Black-owned businesses, of minority and women-owned businesses. How can we not include Janique?
Thank you.
The MWBE queen, the one who got me certified, who pushed my certification application off of somebody's desk,
Right,
into full blown, let's drive, let's do this. Secret Garden, Janique. Just introduce yourself. Just introduce yourself. I don't even want to touch introducing you. Just introduce all of the things.
Okay, so hey everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. So as Talia mentioned, I'm Janique Curry, and I am J.S. Curry and Associates as well. And Secret Garden 716 is our New York State licensed cannabis dispensary. And that is with me and my family. Our location is at 1363 Delaware Avenue, Gates Circle. So come see us.
It's so cute. I love it. So
yes.
cute.
So that is our family business as well. And as Talia mentioned, I work with individual businesses and companies on their MWB certification. That's something that I've been doing for quite some time now. And just want to make sure that we contribute to those who are in the same business as we are in terms of uplifting and supporting other Black, minority, women and owned businesses.
Janique, first of all, the work that you've done and the work that you continue to do is so needed, and I know that so many are appreciative. You've helped really push so many different businesses, and even if you haven't, helped them with starting their businesses or doing the certification process, you've been a connector, and I feel like, when I first met you, you were at Erie County Medical Center, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you were like, what? MWB constructors? Oh, we're going to push that certification application through. And I was able to walk away, and I shared this with our capacity building class. I was able to walk away with a $380,000 contract, because you didn't say, oh, okay, I don't have nothing to do with that. You made sure that ESD got the application off that desk and submitted, and I'm just so appreciative of you for doing that, because so many, of us, we gatekeep.
Yeah.
And I know you know about gatekeeping. And I mean, we're in here talking about Secret Garden, and I'm sitting on something. And you have been like really pushing and talking me through, like, Talia, you can do this. You need to get on top of this.
Yep.
Before we dive into Secret Garden, I really want to talk about, how you are so easily open and willing to pass the blueprint. Why is that?
And so for me, it's just how I grew up. I'm from New York. I came here to go to college, but in our family, my mom was the connector. My mom did everything, but all our connections and everything led through our church. Yeah. So we grew up in AME Zion and Jackson Memorial AME Zion Church in Hempstead, New York, and that was our life. And just, being connected to God and being connected to friends and family was always important to me, and always making sure that everybody had everything they needed. That's what I got from my mom. Yeah. So it's morphed into me, it's what I enjoy. It's what makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm contributing. Sometimes people feel like they don't have a lot to contribute, but just making people feel good. Who was it? Was it Maya Angelou who said, people will never forget what you do for them, but they'll never forget how you feel.
Yes, how you make them feel.
How you make them feel.
Yes.
So making people feel good is something that I desire to do.
Well, I am so appreciative of you, Janique. When I tell you, there's not a lot of, especially when you are in I'm in such a male-dominated field, and being a young woman and coming up in this field, right. It's almost like you are shunned, and even now, like, I'm not that young of a woman anymore, but
No, you are.
I still feel like, those who are my senior feel like, oh, you're stepping on toes, you're getting too close to me, we're doing, too much of the same thing, or it's kind of like you're coming into my territory. You're not like that.
No.
And, I'm so appreciative of women like you, so I just wanted to say that and really just get your thoughts, because you are somebody who truly is leaving behind a blueprint and giving the blueprint. You're not just saying, here, take these blueprints, figure it out. You're willing to take someone's hand and walk them through it. And so I'm appreciative of you for doing that and for being that way. And so shout out to your parents and your family and, the people who raised you, girl, because they raised you right.
Thank you.
I want to get into Secret Garden.
Yes.
I literally walked into Secret Garden the other day for the first time. I can't believe.
Yeah.
You're right next door to, Hutch's restaurant, which I love. I love a good Hutch's happy hour. And you're right next door to Hutch's. You all now own the building.
We do.
And I'm telling you a story, so let me just hush. Secret Garden, how did this start? What made you interested in the retail cannabis industry? Tell us about it.
So initially, my introduction to cannabis was through a statewide campaign. I was the upstate coordinator before cannabis was legal in New York State. We had a campaign called Rise to Legalize. And this is when Andrew Cuomo was still the governor, and we were working with a lot of people across the state to get legislators and other people to move the governor to sign the legislation, which was sponsored by our very own majority leader, Crystal Peoples-Stokes.
Shout out to Crystal.
Yeah. So that was my first introduction to cannabis. I'm not a consumer. I've never been a consumer, although my family and other people are, but never bothered me.
Right.
So I did that campaign, and we got it passed, and it was legal. And once New York State came out with all of the requirements for operating a cannabis facility, and there was a social equity piece to it.
Yeah.
So we applied and didn't know if we would get it, weren't sure if we would get it, but it was a long shot. So we put in an application and we were able to get it through, and it was a lot of work. A lot of work.
Please share about that process, Janique. I feel like, a lot of people I've heard, I'm in rooms sometimes and people are, oh, we about to get this cannabis license. We about to kill it. We about to make millions. Can you tell us some of the realities of the process and also the startup phase? Like, are y'all balling? Are y'all making millions? I'm in y'all business. I'm sorry.
No. And that's a good thing to say, because it was a challenge in the beginning, and when we applied, there was a program that was supposed to turn over the keys to you, and you of course pay back the loan,
right?
But you were supposed to walk into a fully stocked, fully loaded store.
I remember that.
It was a card program, and it didn't happen because as much of a problem as we had finding real estate, the state office that was in charge of that process, DASNY, the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York, they were in charge of the process of finding real estate for all of the cannabis locations. Okay. And because cannabis is still not legal federally, people who have mortgages and hold mortgages on their buildings were not willing to take that risk because their banks could pull it back from them.
Right, exactly.
So we had a really hard time finding a location. We were actually found something on the west side, which was going to be a complete build out, which was a lot of money, and but it just didn't work out, and the landlord actually pulled back on that one. And then we actually feel like we came back home because we actually used to live at 1373 Delaware Avenue, right next door to Hutch's. Well, we lived above Hutch's. Before Hutch's was a thing, we lived above Hutch's.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so you're back. You're literally back where it all started.
We are. I
love that.
Yeah. And
I love that.
Yeah, so that's when me and my husband first got together, and we lived there, and that's where we were before we had kids and family and all of that. So, but yeah, the realities of the application process, much like the MWBE process you've gone through, New York State is very thorough.
Yeah.
I'll say that. And they ask for a lot of information.
Yes.
And essentially because what the program was supposed to do was supposed to rectify the wrongs that had been done to those who had been harmed from cannabis.
Yeah.
So that was the whole social equity portion of it. So in terms of giving somebody the keys to a store, they wanted to make sure that you could run a business, had run a business, and then there also was someone who was harmed by that cannabis. So my stepson, he is the one who had the injury, or per se. Well, our family was injured because of his actions.
Right.
And so we had that. And then I had Janique Curry and Associates before that. So you had to show that you had a business that was profitable. Because a lot of people, as you know, as we go through these things, a lot of people say that they're in business, but they're in the red every year. At the end of the year, they're waiting for a tax return. People who are in business don't get tax returns.
They don't get.
So
hello, wake up and hear that piece.
Yeah.
Can you say that one more time?
Everybody in business, if you're in business truly, you're not waiting for a tax return.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So you're trying to invest into the next thing. So we went through the process, and as I said, it was an online portal, and you had to put all of your documentation into the portal, everything from, bank history, business history, just everything that, you would want to know about somebody who you're entrusting.
That's right.
With the keys to this store. But fortunately that didn't, and I say fortunately, that didn't work out because the struggle that we had to go through ourselves personally, with family and friends and, trying to pull together what we needed to do, that all came from us, from our savings. And that's what we had to do. So we put up all the money for ourselves, and we didn't have a lot to do. We were very fortunate. Our shop was beautiful. It used to be a hair salon.
Oh,
and
okay. So
it was a hair salon before, and our landlords owned the building, so there was no concern about a mortgage. And she had kind of Googled me and looked me up, and she had looked up, what it was. She was actually interviewing us on cannabis and what the programs were. And what we were going to do in terms of, whether there are going to be people outside loitering and smoking and all those kind of things. Right. And she had some concerns about that. But all those concerns were alleviated once we talked, and we signed a lease. And actually, we started paying rent in February of 20.
Talk about that piece.
And we did not.
When did you open?
We did not open until October. Of 24. So we just celebrated a year, basically, in business. And
no ROI from February until October. That is really something to talk about, because you have to have money to be able to make money in this, and that's a bit you have to invest.
It's not all. A lot of people are like, I need a grant. No one wants a loan, and no one ever wants a loan. Yeah. Because you have to pay it back. So people are always asking us, is there a program? Is there a grant? Is there something that can help me? But the investment has to come from yourself first. Yeah. You have to invest in yourself and believe in your investment, and then that's the way things go. So that's what we did. We invested in ourselves, and we took everything that we had and put it into our business.
So when you talk about, a program that was developed and that was supposed to do this grand, give back. I know I prepared all these questions and prepared you with these questions, but this was always going to be a candid combo. When you talk about that and investing in yourself and, building up to be able to, walk this business out, do you see the ROI? Do you feel like right now it was worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, working with your family, as you know, can be challenging.
Hello. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to my hubby.
Yeah, and my husband and my child, too.
Right.
It can be challenging, but, it's worth it in the end. You want to create some legacy for your family and for those children who we leave behind. Hello. And grandchildren. So we we work hard so that our children don't have to work as hard. Yes. And that's what we want. We want that. We want to leave the world better than the way we received it. So
right, yeah. Marjay's over there doing this. I should turn the camera on you while you're always trying to hide behind the scenes. You know, I feel like that's so important, and what you said is powerful. We want to leave the world better than how we found it, and also passing that torch, giving that blueprint, sharing that blueprint. What I love about this is you were the first.
Well, Sheldon was actually the first. Sheldon and Mariah, they were the first minorities in the city of Buffalo to have a dispensary. They are engaged, so they're a family too.
Right.
So, but it's just Sheldon and Mariah, and they're located at Public Flower.
Okay. I've heard of Public Flower.
Yes, good friends. Sheldon, you know, we both worked in state government, and Sheldon actually worked for Majority Leader Crystal People Stokes before he made his transition to his other job, and I don't want to put all his business out there, but
shout out Sheldon.
Yeah, no,
Mariah.
But seriously, but Sheldon was the one who called me. I'll never forget it. We were pulling in for an appointment at ECMC, a doctor's appointment, and Sheldon called me, and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Did you look at the list?" And I was like, "What list?" And he was like, You got the license." And so he was the one who called me because he got it at the same time I did.
Right.
And fortunately, he was able to open before I was, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, hard work comes with reward. So you got to put in the work.
So, you know, it's funny because the way that I end up in the retail cannabis maybe business was
we gonna get that going.
Yeah, Janique was like, "You got to get that going." I'm like, because I want to say, I don't know why I'm thinking about discretionary spends, Lord. I got too much government contracting in my head. I have a provisionary license. And so I'm like, do I even want to jump into this? Yes. Because it is a full-fledged business, y'all. We're not talking about something that you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to get
hustle.
And this is definitely not a side hustle. No. And so I'm looking at all of the things, and I have all these grandiose and great ideas because I do everything flashy and extra. And I'm like, okay. You know, and so then I kind of just forgot about it. And then someone wanted to buy it from me, and then it was like getting shady. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I'm just going to let it go. But it was actually, you know, someone who worked for OCM from New York City who was like, you're going to get this, and were on me to make sure that I filled out this application. I don't even remember his name, but he was on me, Keenan. He was on me every single day to get this. He was like, this is for you.
Yeah.
And so I was going to let it go, and you were pushing me. I just, you know, the fear also and the stigma of cannabis, do you feel like people need to continue to be educated on that fear?
Absolutely. And me and my husband were just talking about this because we actually have, when you renew your cannabis license, you have to present them with a plan, a community engagement plan. And that plan has to say how you as a shop and as a business are going to address some of the ills in your community.
That's your jam.
It is. And so he just said it to me. He was like, listen, we're getting ready to go to Albany for this caucus, and I saw your flyer. Yes, I saw you on the panel.
Caucus. Shout out to anybody who coming to caucus.
Yes.
Come on the caucus.
Yes, I saw the panel that you're going to be on. That's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
So he was like, we're getting ready to go to caucus. I'm a member. I'm the vice president of the National Action Network locally here, and we're going to New York in April for the NAN conference. And he's like, all these things we're doing, that's part of our community engagement.
Yes, it is.
Right? And I said, it absolutely is, because we're educating the community. We're making sure that stigma is not there. I mean, just because people don't consume does not mean that they can't come in and support us.
Yes.
And we do a lot. We do a lot of give backs. We did a turkey giveaway. We partnered with Steve's Meats and gave away 10 or 15 turkeys. We also have had some things right outside in the back of our store, a cannabis education seminar, and then we did something for homecoming. A lot of people were here for homecoming, so we had people come and, provided a brunch, at the store outside in the back. It was beautiful in the summertime. So we do a lot in the community, and we want to give back.
And so much more coming.
There's a lot more coming.
And the space is a vibe.
Yeah.
And if y'all did not know, let me show them your shirt. This, listen, it's the merch for me. Look at this. This is just one of the Secret Garden shirts. I have two that I purchased, and this is with the lady with the little secret, it's the secret.
The lips.
such a vibe, you know, in there, the feeling, you know, and I was able to experience your regulars, customers who come in, who, you know your son's name and know you all and are looking for those people to help them. So that's so dope to be able to experience and see, right? I was sitting and I was planning and you know, writing. I wrote a book. I don't know if you know that, but I wrote a book, a curriculum called Black in Business. And it really is a guide to, you know, starting your business in the Black and keeping your business in the Black. And something you said, you know, we were talking, we had so many convos because I feel like we've been like at every networking event like in the last month or so together. And you said something about businesses being in the red. And I'm like, that has been my journey to assist, especially diverse business owners, in actually making money and not just looking like we have money, or not just showing up and, oh, I'm a business owner and I'm from this, you know, and how we show up. How we show up in the community matters, and how we show up for our business, how we represent our business matters. You are a stickler on that, and have been a stickler on, you know, how you show up, how you come through, how you represent yourself in businesses, and so I'm appreciative of that as well.
Because people don't take you seriously if they
let me turn this.
They will not take you seriously if you do not present yourself in the right way, and that is really something I learned from my mother. You know, you have to always present yourself. And, you know, one thing, when you go out the house, don't embarrass yourself and don't embarrass me. That was, you know, don't embarrass his family. So, and I have lived beyond that. And that is how I project myself. And when I'm teaching and when I'm working with people, because we are judged, you know, as African American businesses.
Super scrutinized.
You know, we have to do 100 times more than the next person just to get to where they are. So it is a lot of work, and the world's problems fall on our shoulders. And if somebody messes it up for us, we won't get an opportunity.
Because we get coupled together.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that, you know, is heavy. It's heavy for us as business owners. It's heavy for us as, you know, minority and women. And I say this all the time, and I'm like, there's no shade. I have so many friends who do not look like me, right? Colleagues, friends, other business owners, you know, and they're women in business and they're veterans in business or whatever, and I'm working and I'm helping, and I'm like, it is different for us. Things are different for us. The way that we have to speak to each other, the way that we have to present things to each other, we have to
all the code switching. And
oh my gosh, it's a constant code switching. You know, I feel like I'm finally to the point. Stephanie said something to me the other day. Shout out to Stephanie Pennington from La Chase. She came into the ECIDA office, and I was walking, and I didn't have on upper bottom jeans, but my boots with the fur, I did have those on. And they're not just regular boots with the fur. They're a little, you know, they like Eskimo.
Extra.
Whatever. I do extra stuff. She said, they let you wear those in here? But that's Stephanie, you know, Stephanie. But she was like, I wish I could wear those, you know, at work. And I'm like, but you can. Because once you're in the door, you're in the door. But there's a way. You know, I always say that I'm extra. I'm super extra califristic right? But there's a way to present yourself in a way that still shows your personality, but is still
professional.
Yes. And I am literally the epitome of sitting on that. I straggle that line. I'm like, I walk that line like a drunk person sometimes, right? But at the same time, it's like you have to be professional and remembered for something, and making sure that you remembered for the right thing.
Right, absolutely.
You know, so you know, you are the epitome of that. Like, you know, you come in here, you got your mink on to the ankles, okay?
It's cold.
Janique said, it's cold. I'm wearing my fur, baby. Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
We can't wear it in the summertime.
Hello.
So, I mean, we
wear your digs that you work hard to, you know.
Right.
And you look cute wearing them.
Thank you.
But I love your classiness. You're such a classic lady, and you know it makes it even more beautiful when you're willing to give back and pull and you know, push other people. And so I'm appreciative of women like you. You know, we need more women and men like you who are not intimidated by the next generation.
Oh no.
Or
hello? I can't do this forever. We need some more people. We need to train them up. Train up a child.
We need more people.
Train up a child in the way that you want them to be.
Literally.
So that's
I love
what we
that.
have to do.
I love that. Janique, what's next for SJ? Well, we already know Secret Garden is in the community.
Yes.
You guys, shout out location one more time.
1363 Delaware Avenue, Gate Circle. Come right up Delavan and make that left. And
Yes,
right there.
next door to Hutch's. Y'all know where
next
Hutch's
door to
is.
Hutch's
Either you
restaurant.
frequent or you don't, but you know exactly where it is. Secret Garden is right there. Such a
open
beautiful location.
10 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. Sundays 11 to 4, and we are there.
What is next for Janique Curry and JS Curry and Associates? I'm so excited. I'm excited. What's next?
So we are just trying to still grow in the community. We just actually did another raffle. We just gave away a 65-inch TV
I love it.
for anybody who came in the store. You don't have to purchase. You didn't have to purchase anything, but you can just be in the raffle.
Right.
So we do that quite often. We do raffles once a month, and then actually our biggest raffle that we just had, we had dinner at Hutch's with 2 of our customers, and they were each
awesome.
brought their significant other or a friend, and we had a fabulous time. The 6 of us, we had a really great dinner at Hutch's that night, and we're going to do that once a quarter. So make sure you stop in, and we have a lot of promotions going on. So stop in to see us, and get educated, because all of our bud consultants that we have hired really know the plant.
Yes, they do.
They know the plant. And if you tell them what you have going on, if you want to sleep, if you want to, get past your pain, if you want to, be up, or whatever it is that, if you need something to rub on you, we have that too. We have accessories, we have merch, we have all those things, so people can come in and support us in those kind of ways. So,
Janique, you shared about the education that your bud tenders have. They do. When I walked in, I was like, as soon as I walked in there, I was like, what do you need? What you looking for? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, right? But I was led, and I was educated, almost over-educated. I'm like, okay, I just got a lesson that I didn't even know about. And so I was so appreciative of that, because a lot of times when you walk into establishments that are, and I'm transparent, this is my show, that are owned by, Black businesses, you don't get that same level of quality. And I love that, you all have quality. You're focused on your product. You're not going in there feeling like you're intimidated because there's a whole bunch of people standing outside or around. You feel safe, and you feel private. And you guys have, programs going on. It's like you can get your membership and, give backs and discounts. And so I'm excited by that. Secret Garden, y'all. We literally have 2 minutes. Janique, thank you so much for joining me. Janique will also be a part of the Buffalo Niagara MWBE and SDVOB capacity building program. We are kicking off our first class, our first cohort, February 18th at Oak House. Finally, we made it to Oak House. Finally, we made it to Oak House. Dennis was like, okay, we're doing this. No more underground fires, Buffalo, or water main breaks. Oh my goodness. So if you would like to be included in that, there is still time. Make sure you head over to the MWBEconference.com and click on capacity building programs. You will be able to catch this recap at the MWBEconference.com as well. Just click on Blueprint the Culture for all of our recaps and all of our past shows. Janique, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too.
And catch us here next week, same time, 11:30 a.m. Blueprint the Culture. I love y'all.
Bye.